Hi, my loves. Welcome back to the Starscartel channel. If you don't know, I am Star. The message I heard is I told you to avoid him. It's not because of me you're suffering now. Okay? And God, I'm also at that God said this way. Not exactly so authoritative, but kind of in a fatherly. Come on now. I told you now. I told you. I warned you. The message, the scripture comes from Second Maccabees 3 and 31. Soon some of the companions of Heliodorus begged Onias to invoke the Most High, praying that the life of the man who was about to expire might be spared. Fearing that the king might think that Heliodorus had suffered some foul play at the hands of the Jews, the high priest offered a sacrifice for the man's recovery. While the high priest was offering the sacrifice of atonement, the same young man in the same clothing again appeared and stood before Heliodorus. Be very grateful to the priest Onias, they told him. It is for his sake that the Lord has spared your life. Since you have been scourged by heaven, proclaim to all men the majesty of the Lord's power. When they had said this, they disappeared. Okay, y'all. So this is a message for somebody. God rescued you. Okay, God saved you. 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 Okay, this is somebody you ended up in a relationship with the wrong person. You ended up in a counterfeit relationship, or you ended up in a counterfeit marriage. And God is saying that He was trying to tell you to leave that person alone. He was trying to tell you to let it go. He was trying to tell you early on to help you avoid all of the heartache that you're going through now. This is not, like I said, this was in a fatherly way. It was not in a it was not in a like it wasn't like God wasn't screaming, He wasn't yelling, He wasn't, it's like He's not angry. He's just a little annoyed because He's just like, I told you, I was trying, I told you, and I told you, I tried to tell you, I told you, I told you, I told you, this is not on me. God says He was not punishing you. You are not under the wrath of God. You are not under the wrath of God. God is not punishing you, and you did not deserve any of the heartache and pain that you received in that relationship, because God said He was trying to pull you out of it, but you were not listening. Okay? He was trying to pull you out of it, but you were not listening. And in reality, for some of you, you got into these counterfeit relationships and you did not realize that it was obvious that it was a counterfeit relationship, because it's hard to tell. Like I'm gonna be real and say it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if somebody is a counterfeit or if they are your kingdom spouse, especially when it's a situation where they are so close knit, like they act exactly the way you would think a kingdom spouse would act, and they do everything a kingdom spouse would do, and then like they just sprinkle in the little bad stuff here and there. And I just feel like God is saying gradually, as time goes on, you start to see it even more obvious. And God is saying, when at first, when it was very faint, He was trying to tell you to get out of there. Okay? In some of y'all's cases, it could even be like I feel like that's not even it, because just as I was about to say that, I feel like God is saying no. Okay, so this is not a kingdom marriage. For whoever this is for, God said you were in a counterfeit relationship. You thought it was a kingdom spouse. They were not your kingdom spouse. They were a counterfeit pretending to be your kingdom spouse. You thought they were your kingdom spouse. You thought they were kingdom. You were confused. Okay, you thought they were your kingdom spouse, but they were not. Okay, they were a counterfeit. They were pretending. And God is saying that you should be very grateful that He spared you, because if you had continued in that relationship, you would have spiraled out of, I just hear God saying spiraling out of control. The relationship was spiraling out of control, regardless if this was a very abusive person. And just as some of those bad flaws didn't show up early on, as time goes on, most people that end up in abusive marriages, they don't realize how abusive their partner is until like it's too late. Like it's kind of like people that are like that, they are very, like, it's like they're careful to pull, like it's kind of like they were trying to pull you in real slow, like by a little thread, like they was trying to slowly pull you in. For some of you, they may have been trying to pull you in faster, but regardless if it's a situation where you have a safe haven, or if it's a situation where you are, I just feel like this is for somebody you not scared to leave. Okay, sorry y'all, my wisdom tooth is hurting. This is the type of situation where you are not scared to leave. You are not scared to leave. You are not scared to get out the way. Okay, and I get it. You're not scared of a little pain, even if it does break your heart. You would prefer to have. I just feel like you prefer to be in complete alignment with God. And you heard God several times and you left. For somebody, you did hear God and you did leave, but you came back, and you left, you came back, and you left, you came back. God said the first time you should have stayed. Gone. Okay? That's the first time you should have stayed. Gone. But, at this point in time, I just feel like God is saying that He is not punishing you. He was not punishing you. He loves you. This was not in any shape, form, or fashion. For somebody, you need to hear this. God is not punishing you. God loves you. What that person did, that was not in God's plans. God did not plan for that person to be treating you that way. God did not plan for that person to do you that way. God did not plan no. It may have been planned for you to cross this person's path. It may have been. But then I truly feel like this person is a counterfeit that was planted by the enemy, planted by the pits of hell. This is somebody that is complete evil. And even if they seemed as though they were not evil, and they seemed that they were so nice, and they seemed that they were this, and they seemed that they were that, God said this person's heart was pure. Like they had a heart like of a rock, of a coal, like that. This evil. It's just like God said this is a very dark person, a very evil person. And you could not see it at first, but eventually you did see it. And once you saw it, you were like, oh no. And I just feel like God is saying that you may have a while that you're going to just be going over things in your mind and recalling events and recalling the situations, like, oh my goodness, that really happened. Oh my goodness, I can't believe. Like, I just feel like the more that you have time to yourself to sit and think, the more you are going to realize that you and this person not being together is the best decision that you can make. And I just feel like God is saying that you have nothing to be ashamed of. You have nothing to be embarrassed about. Everybody makes mistakes. And in reality, I just feel like you just like I just feel like God is saying, don't beat yourself up to a point to where you're like, I must have done something wrong. I must be this awful person. Why did this happen to me? God said you are not under His wrath. He is not punishing you. He's not punishing you. He's not punishing you. He's not punishing you. Okay? He is not punishing you. Stop thinking that he is not punishing you. In fact, He's about to bless you because you have been hurt so bad. Stop. He's not punishing you. You know how this is God is telling me this is like a father that sees that their child's heart is broken. His heart is broken too. He is hurting because you're hurting. And He said He want to fix that pain. So don't feel like God is not punishing you. I just feel like for somebody, God is saying He is about to shower you with blessings. And it's not because you are spoiled rotten, and it's not because you're a brat, and it's not because of none of this. God is saying that He loves you so much, and He does not want you hurting this way. He does not want you feeling this way, and you don't deserve to feel this way. Okay? God is saying that you will have a full recovery. I'm looking at where it says, the high priest offered a sacrifice for the man's recovery. While the high priest was offering the sacrifice of atonement, the same young man appeared in the clothing again and stood before Hilarious. So I just feel God is saying that for I feel like for somebody, you had to make a sacrifice in order to let go of this relationship. Regardless if the sacrifice is the relationship. Or if the sacrifice was, just the pain that you felt while you were in the relationship. You made a sacrifice. Okay? And understand that your sacrifice saved your life. Okay, your sacrifice saved your life. For some of you, this was a very abusive person that could have possibly eventually taken you up out of here. God says your sacrifice, as much as it hurt, it saved your life and you will be fine. Okay, and that's the message. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'm looking at this mess. I don't know when I got this message. The message was remember Tayati. I don't know why that's standing out. So let me look this up. I wrote it down in the Bible, y'all. So that's why I was just, let me see something. If my phone don't stop playing with me. Y'all would not believe every time I type this in by it goes to YouTube. Why does it keep doing this? Okay, so Sayati name meaning is spiritual helper. Oh, okay. Okay, so for somebody, God is saying that you have an angel that is going to help you get over this. Okay, that's the message. Okay, because I was like, what? I'm sorry, y'all. Every time I looked up the word in my Safari app, it just kept taking me back to YouTube. And I'm just like, okay, I love YouTube, but that's not what we trying to go right now. We trying to go to a different part of Google. Okay, anyways, so God is saying that he has granted you with a spiritual helper, regardless to, I feel like the spiritual helper is going to help you heal from this situation. They are also going to give you clarity and understanding about what happened. And they are also going to, you're going to be bestowed with blessings. Okay, y'all. Like, these blessings are going to help you get your stuff back. Okay, whatever you lost, regardless to if it is just your dignity, okay, regardless to if it is just you lost your mind for a second, okay, regardless to if it is just your heart has shrunk 5 times, God say he is sending you a spiritual helper to help you get through this. Okay, you gonna ease right on up out of there. You are not under God's wrath. You are not meant to endure that pain, and you will be replenished. That's what I hear. That's the message. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.